Well, good morning. This is a very strange day in the world of politics. People are asking me, my friends, is this Trump-Musk feud for real, or is it just some sort of diversion? Well, looking around, he's going after a lot of people right now that he appointed. And I don't know why, if it's because he's genuinely disappointed in their performances, or he is trying to create a bunch of diversions while he sneaks in his efforts to get that big deal, that big beautiful bill through, which will actually remove democracy almost completely. So I really don't know what he's doing, and I don't think anybody else does either. Can he hurt Musk? Oh yes, he can hurt Musk. Will he hurt himself by hurting Musk? Absolutely. If you damage SpaceX and all that, you'll put the moon landings and everything in the future, the space travel, years behind what it is now. And I don't know whether Jeff Bezos, Blue, whatever it is, can catch up and take over what the Musk is doing. And I don't think there's enough engineers in NASA left that can take over the operation of Musk's stuff without his people. So I don't know what's going to happen there. And this is a really strange world we're in right now. Actually, I don't think so. Not that strange. This is Trump all the way, you know. Everybody, Hegseth, all these guys he appointed, you knew they weren't going to last. Trump doesn't let anybody last. These people are all narcissists like himself, and they start to get this opinion that they're bigger than he is, and he's not going to let that stand, okay? So the next thing you know, they turn around and they're gone. And they're looking at themselves saying, what happened? Well, you screwed up, that's what happened. You went out and you tried to do something you couldn't do. You pushed yourself too far. Now, Musk is in a very difficult situation there. His association with Trump drove his stocks down. Now his opposite reaction, which I think he hoped would bring his stocks up and bring his personal appeal in the backfired again, because Trump threatened to take away all his subsidies. So that's, I don't know how they play this game anymore. I've always known that they were backstabbing assholes. This is my own personal experience with politics on a very, 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 very local level, with the mayors and the city council and various various representatives and whatnot. How they play dirty. That never surprised within their own party. And that didn't surprise me at all. So this doesn't really surprise me. I'm just amazed that it happened so soon. Or that it took so long to happen. I'm not sure which is more amazing. Because Musk's ego and Trump's ego cannot exist in the same room for very long. It's like me. My problem isn't ego. I hate Trump so bad. I just can't be in the same room with him because I just want to hit him, because he disgusts me so much, and he's ruining everything. He really is, for older people like myself and for the future of America. He wants America to be a fiefdom, a fascist. Either a fascist nation or a fiefdom. I don't know where he's leaning right now, because there's stuff he's doing that could actually permit him to become king. There's stuff he's doing that if it gets passed will permit him to run for a third time. Sorry. Uh, I don't think he could get. Honestly, I don't think right now that he could get elected fairly. But he's doing all sorts of voter suppression acts or forcing states to do voter suppression because states don't want to give up. These guys don't want to give up their power. These people that are in control now, they don't want to give up their power in 2026. They want to keep screwing with you. Look, if you look at the history of America and go back to when they were writing the Constitution was basically written by, at that time, what could be considered elites, either intellectually or monetarily. They were elites. The common man had no place there. They believed that the common man wasn't capable, that the general public wasn't capable of electing leaders. That's where the Electoral College came in. And that was the basis for that particular piece of whatever that everybody hates. You know? And it's how Trump got elected, because he didn't have to win the country. He only had to win certain areas of the country, certain states, in order to be elected president. And that's something that's become more and more and more and more obvious as time goes on. If you study history and you remember the Lincoln-Douglas debates, they went on a train. Now, back then it wasn't a big deal to tour the country. I mean, it was. But you could do it in a reasonable amount of time on a train, hit all the big spots, and people would travel to see you. Now people don't travel to see you that much anymore, unless they're with Trump, because I swear to you, the people in the back behind Trump are about half of them are at least more than half of them are the same every time I see a picture of him standing on a stage. And I don't know whether that's videotaped and they just give out that tape as a it's done in the studio. I have no idea how that works, but you can't tell anymore. Artificial intelligence is very, very good, and so are just the creative minds that work for him. And he knows everything there is to know about how to do things with TV to get to where he is. But going back to this problem that Trump has with Musk, look around. He's having problems with his entire cabinet, just about. They're saying things they shouldn't say, even in support of him. They shouldn't be talking like that because they're destroying their credibility, making Trump look bad. RFK Jr. is in major trouble, and he's been in major trouble since the day they picked him. Here's a guy that was running as an independent for president, and decided that somehow or another somebody said that he will take votes from you, Donald. We need to do something. So what do? They go out and they bring him into the Republican Party, and he says, "I'll make you. Don't worry, you come over and work for me, and I'll give you something." And they gave him the worst possible thing they could give to him because he's a whack job. But apparently that's what they like. Hegseth is he's got problems. I don't know whether he's solved all his demons yet. I doubt it very seriously from some of the things I've seen him do and say. He needs about another year in rehab before he's ready to do anything before he's even ready to go back to Fox, probably. Now, he brought in Musk, and Musk is a drug addict. I mean, he's high half the time. And he claims that it's doctors or prescription medicine, and I don't know whether it's for something or he says it helps him. Whatever the reasons are, he's high half the time, and you can see that. And that's not a good look. To have somebody you put in charge of regulating your employment in the government, and he turns around and he's high all the time. How's he making these decisions? Based upon what? Nobody knows what he's basing these decisions upon. Now, I agreed with Trump that there was some bloat in the U.S. government in terms of employment, and that the problem with civil service, now I can't, civil service gave my mom work. But the problem that exists within civil service is that you cannot get, they're like unions. You can't get rid of the bad people, Unions are the same way. Unions do a lot of good. But after the good is done, the average guy, somebody that's really, really good, can't advance himself in a union shop unless he has seniority. And what they do now is they create a new position for him and take him out of the union, and they give him a job, and then he says, okay, I'm in management now, but management can get fired in a heartbeat, and usually does. So that's not good for people. But you destroy the civil service entity, which I don't think is such a bad idea. I think all employment should be done on a merit system, not who you know or who you're sucking off or whatever's going on, but on some sort of merit system, And if you're not going to do that, if you're just going to promote people because you like them or the color of their skin or something like that, you're never going to have a truly powerhouse business. You might be moderately successful, but you'll never be the powerhouse that you want to be, And eventually your business will fail, and you won't know why. Because times change. And if you have people that are promoted because of seniority, they're not changing the times, they're not keeping up with the times. And they have to hire more people in their departments to run a business because it's not efficient anymore. You understand? You take put a guy that's not, I don't want to say not completely capable of doing the job, but a guy that's been there for 20 years, or 10 years, let's say, and you promote him to run the department. Now, he's seen this department run for 10 years, and and he's going to change some things, because he thinks he's smarter than everybody else, because that's, I got a promotion, I must be smarter than everybody else. And he was only considered for the promotion because of his time with the company. And we're talking more or less the lower jobs. We're not talking about executive positions right now. So anyhow, you take this guy. Even this applies actually to executive, applies to government too. Because if you look at our Senate and our Congress and whatnot, the age of some of these people, and they're still thinking in the past. They're not paying attention to what's going on around them. That's why they're doing the transsexual, get out of the military. That's why they want the diversity program stopped, because they're not keeping up with the times. They want to go back to the 1700s, 1800s, where it was white America basically, and the black people, if they were in America, they were slaves. Now, I'm not so sure they want to start slavery again, but I'm sure that MUSK's opinion was that apartheid was a great deal. That's why the South Africans ended up in the United States. This is just all conjecture on my part, and it's a lot of, right now, it's probably just a lot of mumbling to you, but you got to look at, because I think faster than I can talk, and that's my problem. So sometimes I get off topic or whatever, like now this is sort of being off topic, but anyhow, look, do me a favor, subscribe to the station, to the channel, okay? You might find something that interests you. I might say something that you actually think is smart. Who knows? Could happen. All right, so listen, everybody take care. Hit the subscribe, the like, comment, whatever you want to do, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.